All right, we're going to keep this one fairly brief. I just a ridiculous effort, just an absolutely ridiculous effort from the Yankees in this game on Friday night. Bad weather. I mean, what do you say? You know, I'm sitting here right now recording this. The game just got banged after 5, or I guess technically they were in the 6th inning at this point. The Yankees lost 9-1. And this game was over before it even started. I mean, the first inning, let me break down what this first inning became. And we'll talk about Marcus Stroman in a second, why he was sent to the hospital after the game, what to look for with him going forward. We'll talk about all that here in a moment. But let me just walk you through what this first inning was like, okay? Mike Yastrzemski starts the game, double to right field, then a walk, then a 3-run home run, then a walk, then a double, then a strikeout and a flyout, and then a single, and then a strikeout. 10 batters came to the plate for the San Francisco Giants in this inning. 5 runs scored, and while the Yankees made it out of the first inning to technically play the rest of this game, technically, I stress, Marcus Stroman didn't. 2/3 of an innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 walks, 5 earned runs, 1 strikeout. His ERA has now ballooned to 11.57. And quite frankly, as we've talked about on the breakdown, the entire rotation that is not Max Fried has been very bad. After that start, I don't want to use a word I don't want to mean, but that start by Marcus Stroman, non-Max Fried starters now have a 6.95 ERA this season for the Yankees, and they've allowed 35 earned runs in 45 1/3 innings pitched. Very, 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 very bad. Ryan Yarbrough came in mop-up duty, pitched pretty solidly for his 2 1/3, but then Ian Hamilton struggled out of the pen. Tim Hill struggled out of the pen. Yoendrys Gomez struggled out of the pen. The rain kept coming. This was a mercy killing. This really was. I mean, I'm not even sure if San Francisco didn't get that giant lead in the first, I'm not even sure they would have gotten to the point in this game where they would have even completed it to where it would count. But I think, and by the way, I think fairly so. They didn't want a room when the Giants get up 5-0 in the first and 8-0 in the top of the 5th. I think at that point they're like, we just got to play enough to give the Giants the win, right? I mean, I think that's what a reasonable umpiring crew would do, and that's what they did here. And quite frankly, I thought they probably should have called it when the bases got loaded there in the 6th with nobody out. I know the Giants get 1 run, but like at that point it was pouring. Like, just end this, and they did. Just mercy killing. The Yankees only had 2 hits in this game. Their biggest being, an Austin Wells double that was, mere inches away from being a 2-run home run, where it hit the literal top of the wall and bounced back in. He drove in Anthony Volpe, but Volpe had a hit. Wells had a hit. The Yankees drew 5 walks in this game, but that's it. That was the grand total. Just a poor effort across the board, and it's really discouraging. This team is all sorts of a mess right now. You thought you were in decent shape bouncing back, but we talked about how this was going to be a tough series, and it was really over before it even started. Like, before the Yankees took their first at bat, this game felt over, and Marcus Stroman was terrible in this game. He's been bad for a while now. His Yankees run has been abysmal. You look at what he's been able to do so far this season. He has 3 starts. He hasn't made it out of the 5th inning in any of those 3 starts. 4 2/3, 3 runs against Milwaukee. 4 innings, 4 runs against Pittsburgh. Couldn't get out of the first inning here today against San Francisco. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And, I know a lot of people, I guess there's 2 factors here. Before I talk about that, let's talk about what happened to him after the game. He was sent to the hospitals for x-rays, testing on his left knee. Aaron Boone said that knee was, quote-unquote, bugging him. So he did not speak to reporters after the game. But Aaron Boone did say this, and this is a quote, and I will attribute to Chris Kirshner of The Athletic for putting this quote out there on social. And this is Aaron Boone on whether Marcus Stroman can be a viable starter for the New York Yankees moving forward. And Aaron Boone says, I do. I think the movement qualities are there. Again, it's less margin for error, and there's probably some adjustments we can all make with him that'll hopefully allow him to go out there and be effective, because the stuff's not much different than the first half of last season to the second half to now. I understand that your manager has to defend his player, and it would be really tough. It would be a tough scene if he came out there and said anything else. So I know Yankees fans are mad in general about that quote, but he's not going to throw his own guy under the bus. What I will tell you is he can't find the strike zone. He does not look like a player that his stuff isn't good enough. It isn't. And he's not placing it well. He's not throwing well. He's not finding any success, really. I mean, I guess you can say his strikeout numbers are okay. But if you look at his strikeouts per inning, they look nice. But if you look at the strikeouts per batter faced, it doesn't look as pretty. It's easier to strike out batters when you're facing, 9 guys an inning, like he did in the first inning of this game. But but what do the Yankees do? That's their problem. What do the Yankees do? Because their only reason why they're starting him in the first place is because of all the injuries. Now, it looks like Clark Schmidt might be back very soon. Maybe as soon as next week. I'm going to choose to be optimistic and say he might be back as early as next week. Things look really good in his rehab start. But even then, it's not like Carlos Carrasco or Will Warren are pitching well. They're not taking Rodon out of the rotation. It is what it is. But, it's not like Carrasco and Will Warren are pitching well. And who else are you gonna call up? There isn't anybody to call up right now. There just isn't. I legitimately, I'm looking at their roster. And I know from a reliever standpoint what they would like to do, but I literally do not know if they wanted to call up somebody to start. Who would they call up at this point? It's just not good enough. And I don't. My concern is I don't see a way out at the moment. And, I'm looking through their 40-man. There isn't help coming. They don't have, Gary De Los Santos, but, he's not coming up. It's putting him in the rotation. That's not an option. Clayton Beater's hurt. JT Brubaker's hurt. And they've got some bullpen arms, but like I said, it's really you're just waiting for Clark Schmidt to come back. And I don't even see an easy option for them as a guy that they can purchase, from AAA and put him on the 40-man. And it's just they're not in good shape, and this is incredibly discouraging. They weren't in this game at all, and we're just going to need to see a much better performance tomorrow, and it's going to require a good start from the rookie. The Yankees and Giants play an afternoon game tomorrow, 3:05 Eastern start time, and it's Jordan Hicks versus Will Warren, and we talked about Warren on Thursday's show, but just about Thursday night show into Friday, just kind of about what we're up and down start so far, and maybe he's a year away from being somebody that's, you would really truly want to be in your rotation all year. He's going to get some opportunities here just because of, who else are they going to put out there? But the Yankees need, again, I feel like I've said this now too much, too soon, and too early in the season, but they need a strong bounce-back effort here. This is just not good enough. And I don't know what. I know it's April and it's early. It's not even the middle of April yet. And it's not like MLB The Show, you just start making trades now. But I worry that this team is going to dig itself too big of a hole with this rotation before June or July, that they're not going to be able to make the impact trade that they want, and or the trade that they do make won't have as much time to make the big impact as you would like. And I think the Yankees are going to need to really seriously look early in this season. Maybe it's not April, but May, around the league and see what they can do to help fix this rotation. Because I hope Schmidt comes back and he's healthy and he's great. I hope Heel comes back and he's healthy and he's great. But even with both those guys in the rotation, along with Max Fried, you still could probably use another arm, even if you're not taking Rodon. Like right now, Warren, Carrasco, and Stroman they're not good enough. And none of them should prevent you from adding another pitcher to this roster at any point, even if Heel and Schmidt come back and never miss another game the rest of the season. So, team's going to have to do something, because this effort's unacceptable. This rotation has been unacceptable. They were embarrassed in this game. It was an embarrassing effort. It was embarrassing to watch. And quite frankly, it's ridiculous for a team that still has the amount of talent that it has, for a team that was in the World Series last year, to look like they have for stretches they have this year, particularly what happened this week in Detroit for the most part, and this first game against San Francisco at home. Just a pathetic effort. So I'll be back tomorrow to break down what they do on the Saturday afternoon game, but they damn sure better have a better performance, or this attitude and this tone isn't going to change. But we'll talk to you then.